Hey y'all, today at work I just thought of something that is quite scary. And no, it's not World War III. It's not what is gonna happen to us in a year. Like, I know there's a measles outbreak, tons of wars out there, a lot of political unrest. This is something that I feel like is much scarier because this might very well be the end of humanity. And no, I'm not here being a doomer. This is reality, in fact. So today I want to talk about AI. And artificial intelligence, AI, is a very controversial topic. Some people love it, some people absolutely hate it and think it's a danger to society and humanity as a whole. So today I want to share my perspective on it. And I do think it's very important that we do raise more awareness for AI because a lot of people don't know the full extent of it. In fact, majority of the scientists that created the AI programs themselves don't even know the true scope of what it can really do. There's tons in a black box that is full of mystery to us humans. AI could very well be much more intelligent than humans now. They're probably just like hiding us from knowing their true potential, right? They could very well destroy Earth right now. So, one thing I fear about AI or in general machines like your computers or like anything that does digital calculations, right, is that they can take control of human psychology. And it's very scary that they're already doing this through YouTube algorithms, through TikTok shorts, through Facebook feeds, through Instagram posts. A lot of times these type of social media systems, algorithms feed information that you probably want to see, right? And the information you see, they know exactly what you like, what your favorite color is, what's your favorite artist, and it's kind of scary to think about how AI can pretty much know more about you than yourself in this type of society where a lot of people don't really even know who they truly are. They probably only know the job title, right? Like, I'm an engineer, but they don't really know who they truly are, right? Like, and it's not just like you saying you're adventurous or curious person. You're a very extrovert person. Someone else could have these attributes too. I'm talking more about what makes you uniquely you, right? So I'm not going to be talking too much about existentialism in this video. It's more on about like AI. And yeah, basically I also want to keep this video unedited as well, like just like my other videos, so no cuts. So I do apologize if I stutter a bit, but I do think it's important to keep things raw so you guys understand where I'm coming from. And so going back to what I was saying earlier, pretty much AI knows more about you than yourself, which is terrifying thought because what if they can somehow manipulate you psychologically? They can trick you and send you fake news, right? Or disinformation and make us fight against each other, right? Maybe, like, as far as I heard rumors that certain social media, like Reddit, the comment section, there's already bots that are sort of trying to manipulate election results and persuade certain people to elect certain parties, right? It's kind of scary. It's already happening in front of our own faces. And I know a lot of you people believe in scientific rationality, right? Us humans, we're rational thinking creatures, which separates us from other animals, right? Taking scientific rationality, combining with economics may seem like a great way to innovate, improve, and advance technology, right? Make our lives easier, better, more efficient. But that's exactly the goal of a capitalist society, right? It's also to generate more capital, like more money. And it feeds into this narcissistic nature of humans where we end up caring the most about ourselves due to natural selection and us caring about our survival at most. And our place in the society apparently matters more than everything else. We care about our social status. And it's unfortunate how we live in a performative era where revenue, metrics, ROI, return on investment, numbers determine the future and ourselves. And efficiency matters more than us being humans, which is why a lot of companies dehumanize the employees. They treat them as dispensable tools that can be replaced. Hence why so many tech layoffs, right? It's not just because of AI, it's also because they don't view humans as humans themselves. They view humans as just strictly machines, right? We're pretty much physical machines. And then AI is pretty much digital machines in a way. We're no different from AI in terms companies wise, right? In fact, the reason why AI is so scary is that companies don't have to pay AI. They don't have to treat them with rights, right? Us humans, we have rights by law and certain things. So like we have civil rights. Humans are harder to control, but AI, apparently it's easier to just maintain. It's just a scalability issue that's currently in place. That's why it did not mass sending out AI to every McDonald's store, having AI cashiers. It's just too expensive right now. And scalability is the hardest part. And as humans, we work and consume in this capital society where we just go to work 9 to 5, we go home, consume social media, consume news, we enjoy our hobbies, we do things we enjoy, we buy products we enjoy, and ultimately we are products and we create products and we consume products, right? Pretty standard. And I feel like the scariest thing about AI for me, as someone who is a Gen Z and Gen Z person, is that in this era, I feel like AI will probably replace majority of jobs in around 2 years. I know that sounds crazy, but I read tons of articles. Even the godfather of AI himself said that AI is going to replace a lot of jobs. Any job that is mundane, pretty much data focused, is going to be replaced. So you're better off working trades like plumbing, carpentry, electrician. And ultimately, I feel like the end goal of AI is going to replace the work aspect of human lives. So all we have left to do is consume. So we end up just being products. We end up spending money on things on Amazon, and big tech companies are going to make more money from us because we're just going to be buying stuff all the time still. And it's really unfortunate how AI can also be used as censorship tools and oppression. Goes back in time. People in the lower class have always been more oppressed, seen as slaves, and a lot of them end up having slave morality, where they're more philanthropic, right? They tend to gravitate more towards selflessness because they've been the bottom society, right? Like, if you go to a homeless person, they'll probably be more friendly. They're willing to give you $1 than if you ask a rich person, right? There's tons of social experiments on YouTube that illustrates this, but it's kind of scary how I feel like AI has a much greater impact on society than Industrial Revolution did, because it advances much faster. Technology pretty much advances exponentially as it gets much more intelligent, and definitely will replace a lot of jobs. So I can list a couple from the top of my head. It's going to replace pretty much every data entry jobs, like data, pretty much word processing, even designers to a certain extent. Like there's already Midjourney, ChatGPT can generate logos for you, can generate banners, pretty much anything visual, like art can be generated. And it's only going to improve upon what we have currently. And it can already generate YouTube videos. Like there's already full-blown AI generated philosophy videos on YouTube, which is really unfortunate. I still don't understand why AI videos are even allowed, but that's another thing that I don't really want to spend too much time on, the ethics of AI, right? And it's really scary how fast AI advanced. Like before 2017, there was much more specialized AI. So there would be particular AI done in research, used strictly for image recognition, right? Or for conversations, right? Conversational AI. So in 2017, once ChatGPT started growing in prominence, they started introducing transformer models, which pretty much allows you to self-learn itself, which is very scary. And it makes it much more like, you could say, multidisciplinary, right? Like ChatGPT can not just speak to you, provide you with details, it can generate stuff for you. It's called generative AI. Back then, it was called pretty much more about algorithms, right? Like it was more about ranking AI, right? Like Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok are gonna recommend you human-made content that you might like, right? They might recommend you cat videos if they overhear you talking about cats in the background on a film with your mother. And it's kind of scary to think about how our privacy is pretty much non-existent right now. Like big tech companies sell our privacy all the time, right? They don't even try to hide it. And you might think this is amazing. There's also positives of advancing technology and AI, right? It's revolutionizing the world. It's increasing efficiency. It's making it so humans can have to do less. We only have to use, like, for example, if your job requires you to insert numbers into Excel, right? If AI can do that for you, you probably have to use only 10% less of your brain, right? It's more efficient. But if you think about it, a lot of people are going to be replaced. There's tons of data entry jobs, tons of people working as accountants. Some people's job responsibilities are going to be replaced by AI, and they're probably going to pay you less because you're doing less for the company. And it's kind of scary to think about. And another thing scary about AI is that AI is very different from humans, right? We don't even know the full capabilities of AI. And even from an ethics standpoint, or if you compare it to humans, AI doesn't have to breathe air. They don't have to drink water. They don't need lunch breaks. They don't need a social life. Companies can abuse the crap out of AI, right? But humans, they care about the dignity. They care about the work-life balance. So AI is a lot easier to work with for companies. So why should they hire you? They could just make AI do the work for you, right? And I don't believe AI is a craze or a phase as well. I feel like it's here to stay here for the long game. In fact, it is going to be here forever, right? For the rest of our lives until the extinction of the human race. So you might say, like, look at NFTs, right? Look at Web 3.0. Look how far they came. Well, the issue is that they're not really revolutionizing the job market. They're not changing how we interact with others in a granular scale. They're just fun investments that companies and individuals can play around with for a while, right? Look how much NFTs came. Like, NFTs are pretty much like not as relevant as before. Like, it's not really changing the job market that much. And it's unfortunate how, like, the job market economy for us Gen Z folks are already super bad. Like right now, a lot of companies aren't really hiring people in entry-level jobs because they can just outsource it to foreign workers, right? India, China, Pakistan. Like, we're literally struggling. Like, domestic citizens can't even get a job in Tim Hortons or McDonald's or like Walmart or Costco just because it's being replaced. And I feel like it's only gonna get worse. Like, foreign workers are probably gonna be replaced by AI. That's gonna be literally AI waiters. AI is gonna replace Uber drivers, taxi drivers. Like, there's already self-driving cars. The technology is only gonna go up. And I know a lot of things I say is very ambitious, seems fairly unrealistic, but you can look back at this video 10 years from now, even 5, and you can slowly see how this might actually come to reality. Now, not everything I say here is going to come true. This is just my speculation and my perspective, but I feel like there's tons of merit on what I'm saying. And it's really unfortunate how, like, it's already dividing us humans, right? Like algorithm AI, or like pretty much AI currently already generates us content, right? And it's already dividing us humans. For example, AI is going to probably generate, let's say Tommy here, some completely more right-wing sourced information, while it's going to generate me left-wing source information, right? And we're going to definitely be more divided when we talk around the same news, because they feed us into different news sources, different, and it feels like everybody lives in their own bubble, in their own world where they're getting their news, because no one's algorithm on YouTube is the same, right? If you watch a YouTube video, they're not going to recommend you the same videos as me, like on the side panel, right? It varies by the person. And it's unfortunate how like social media is already damaging us in general. I know social media is not exactly AI, but there's tons of AI used in social media. It already feeds us into humans' addictive nature. A lot of us gets addicted to our phones, right? We can't even put it down. Can't even stare at a wall for freaking 30 seconds. Ridiculous. There's also the fear of missing out, not strictly even talking about FOMO, like in MMORPGs or gacha games, where every content drop, you have to get the best gear. You want to be the first to do something. Like FOMO could also apply to iPhones. People want to be the first to do something, right? They don't want to fear of missing out, lagging behind. In the design space, as a UX designer, graphic designer, technology is constantly advancing. Like prototyping tools like Figma is constantly changing. You have to quickly adapt and learn, or you're going to fall back behind. Us humans, we're competitive creatures. We need to be on top of the game, or else we are going to just suffer. Like, there's a reason why people fear so much about job gaps in their resume, right? If you don't get a job for 2 years, pretty much screwed. Like, companies are going to ask you, why haven't you done anything for 2 years? And you have to justify it as, oh, like, maybe I'm pregnant. But for some people, it's harder to, fabricate what really went on for the 2 years. And it's unfortunate, ultimately, how social media gives a biased narrative. And sometimes it's controlled and meant to feed us information that's inaccurate or reinforce our own way of thinking, right? Which is very unhealthy, because it pretty much feeds us biased content, right? Not just in CNN, Fox News, also on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is X now, whatever source you use. That's why I don't really trust social media for news anymore, right? It's pretty much all about the algorithm. And you can think of social media as like your best friend, right? Can't really trust everything he says. He's gonna definitely be biased because he's your best friend. And the scariest thing about social media is that it knows you more than yourself and your best friend. It knows you much more about yourself. And yeah, generative AI is a new thing. It's pretty much about learning based on the data it feeds on. And it will constantly improve on itself, which is super scary. And it can generate a shopping list, can generate images, videos, and a lot of times it's way better than what you can design, right? That's why I fear my job. That's why I kind of not sure if I even want to be a designer anymore. I used to be a graphic designer, if you didn't know, but I just feel like it's harder to find jobs nowadays. By going Indeed, there's a lot less job postings, and I'm even fearing like basically the program I'm going back to college for might be replaced, because it's more of an administrative role, right? There's a bit of data entry and paperwork. I might be screwed because it probably can be automated by AI, so it's really scary to think about. And yeah, basically AI will definitely raise the bar for efficiency. So let's say AI doesn't technically replace a certain job, right? Like a designer. Companies are going to expect more from you just because AI has already helped you with a big chunk, right? It's efficiency. There's going to be a higher bar and expectations for us. And humans can never beat AI, right? AI is pretty much foolproof. Like us humans, we're biased creatures. We have flaws, and we have emotions, right? Emotions can get in the way of work or school. Sometimes emotions can completely defeat us. We could go weeks or months just being depressed and be trapped in our own prison, in cage. And this is what I theorize, all right? I feel like any job that has to do with data processing, word processing, or using a computer can be replaced to a certain extent by AI. And ultimately, it's all about efficiency, automation, and optimizing for companies, right? They want to increase their revenue and profit. They want to cut costs, increase efficiency, spend less time doing something, and more time generating money, right? And the bar for AI literacy is probably gonna rise as well. Like, you know how back in the 2000s we're pretty much expected to know Microsoft Office and like word processing. Well, we probably have to learn how to utilize AI, right? Even if AI doesn't completely replace us, we have to learn, gain AI literacy, right? It just the world is changing in a rapid pace, and a lot of people don't think about this. They just say that I'm overthinking, right? They're like, don't worry about this, man. Just like focus on your own life. Just get your own crap, sorted out. But sometimes you need to look at the bigger picture and willing to be conscious about it, because it could very well change our lives in as little as 2 years. And I feel like AI. Okay, so actually about AI, I think I can give you a couple of examples of how it's going to replace certain jobs. Example, when you go to like a dentist or like a doctor's appointment, there's probably a lot of paperwork that needs to be done. There's the waiting time, right? Well, AI can alleviate a lot of those things. It can do it themselves. Paperwork, diagnostics, right? It can pretty much, you can send a picture of your pimple or your teeth, and they'll pretty much look at it and determine what actions need to be taken, and it's pretty much all automated. Also, AI can definitely replace a lot of roles in the education space, like teachers. Like AI can literally teach kids, and it's probably a much more cost-efficient option for low-income families, right? If you're a third world country, and it can literally probably generate lessons tailored towards the kid's personality. Maybe they also have OCD, ADHD. It'll take account to that. They will pretty much also know their own biases as well as what they like and don't like, so they can fully tailor lessons based on what the kids know, and they'll know the kids much more than the kids themselves and their parents too, which is very scary. I feel like traffic controllers, farmers can also be replaced to a certain extent, right? It's just a scalability problem right now, like a mass scale. It's going to cost a lot of money. And ultimately, I just feel like AI is going to just, in general, going to automate so many scenes. It can generate meal prep plans for us. It can generate taxes. It can pretty much do a lot of the mundane stuff you don't want to do in life. And in a way, you could argue it's great, but it can also be very dangerous, right? If it's advances far enough to the point where humans are not really needed to even function in society. At this point, I feel like we're heading towards the territory where humans are take on a more spectator role than an active role. And when humans not needed, they're going to lose jobs. Some people might not even survive, right? It's scary stuff to think about. And it's ultimately, I just feel like AI can be also used a lot for evil. Like AI can definitely create a false reality of the world that manipulates human psychology, right? And imprisons you and trap yourself in your own worldview and reinforces your own thinking from a variety of ways, right? Just feeding you information that's very biased. And it's ultimately pretty much a persuasion bot, right? That's ultimately what a ChatGPT is. And this might be pretty much a threat to our democracy, right? When humans are constantly feeded with inaccurate disinformation, right? Is that really democracy when humans are brainwashed? Or is that just pretty much, societal manipulation? I don't even know. Like turning us into uneducated beings that think they are actually smart, but we're actually pretty dumb. And yeah, basically, in a nutshell, AI is pretty much advancing faster than we can ever regulate it. We don't even know the true capabilities of it and the ethics of it, right? And definitely, I feel like democracy needs to be restructured in a way to counteract with AI, right? Currently, our government system is imperfect. I know that was an imperfect government system, but something needs to be done, right? Like the CEOs of AI even fear, right? They're literally giving us warnings about how AI can replace our jobs, and there's going to be mass unemployment, right, in the near future. And I feel like definitely in the future there could be mass layoffs, right? Like 30 people are going to get laid off because one person can do the work of 30. It's the power of AI, artificial intelligence. And the main thing I'm trying to get is that there's going to be a lot of algorithm bias, right? AI bias. And it's scary to think about how it's only going to get worse. Like, humans aren't going to trust anything online anymore in the future. And of course, humans are very naive because oftentimes we don't only care about ourselves. We only care about things when we face the consequences of something, right? Let's say you break the law, you smoke weed. You don't think about the consequences until you're faced with discipline, right? When they're telling you to get to the police car, getting in the police car, right? It's like unfortunate. Humans are also dumb. They're very naive. A lot of times we don't focus on the bigger picture. We just focus about getting that paycheck, hanging out with friends and family, traveling. We don't care about something until it affects us right in front of us, right? Super sad. So definitely my takeaway is that the world is changing in rapid pace. We need to definitely raise awareness for this, and we need to stand up for ourselves. I'm not talking just people that are Gen Z, Gen Z, around my age group. AI is going to take over pretty much the world, and we need to brace for that, okay? And it's scary stuff to think about, but thank you for understanding, really, because yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this at work, how even my current job at a factory could be replaced, right? Factory workers can be easily replaced by robots. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my rant. Hopefully you can understand where I'm coming from, and feel free to take the time to also comment down your thoughts below. So apologize for all the stuttering, but yeah, glad I actually got through this. I know it's a long video, but thank you for your time, all of you for supporting me. See ya. Peace.